Imagine a nation where, for one night a year, chaos is not only allowed, it's legal. A world where murderers roam free, and the government steps aside. Now imagine if that horror never ends. Before we dive into the chilling reality behind the Forever Purge, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the truth behind your favorite films is more disturbing than fiction. Welcome to the real story that inspired the Forever Purge, a haunting reflection of how real-world fears, inequality, and rising tension gave birth to one of the most brutal dystopias in modern cinema. In 2013, a simple but terrifying question sparked a cinematic revolution: what would happen if all crime was legal for one night? Created by James DeMonaco, the Purge franchise started as fiction. But its roots go deeper, mirroring real events in American and Mexican history, border conflicts, economic disparity, and racial division. The idea wasn't just horror, it was social commentary, and the Forever Purge took that idea further than ever before. Released in 2021, the Forever Purge tells the story of a Mexican immigrant couple, Juan and Adela, who survived the Purge night, only to find that the violence doesn't stop. Radical nationalists decide the Purge should never end, targeting immigrants and minorities. What began as a government-sanctioned cleanse becomes a permanent civil war. It's not just fiction, it reflects growing fears of nationalism, hate crimes, and unchecked violence in modern America. The film's release came during rising tensions at the US-Mexico border. With thousands seeking asylum, violent cartel activity, and political division, the movie mirrors the real-world desperation of people fleeing to America, only to find themselves unwelcome. In the Forever Purge, Mexico opens its borders to accept fleeing Americans. A brutal reversal of reality, and a striking statement on the fragility of civilization. What makes the Forever Purge so terrifying isn't the violence, it's the idea that people would embrace it. Sociologists have long warned, when inequality rises and trust in government fades, societies fracture. The film explores how quickly a nation can fall into barbarism, especially when hate is normalized and justice is optional. The Purge isn't about the future, it's a warning about the present. Shot in gritty, real-world locations, the Forever Purge had a Mexican-American cast, with authentic representation of immigrant struggles. Actors like Ana de la Reguera and Tena Cuerda brought raw emotion and truth to their roles. Director Everardo Gout, himself Mexican, said he wanted this film to be more than horror, it was a cry for awareness. The Forever Purge is more than fiction, it's a dark mirror of society. It asks, what happens when fear becomes law? When hate gets a holiday? But more importantly, it warns us that when we stop protecting each other, when we see our neighbors as enemies, the Purge begins, for real. And it may never end. In the end, the Forever Purge is not just a film about chaos, it's a mirror. It reflects a world where fear replaces trust, where division fuels destruction, and where silence becomes complicity. It forces us to ask the hard questions: what happens when people stop believing in justice? What happens when violence is normalized, and kindness is punished? The real danger isn't a fictional night of crime. It's the slow erosion of empathy, the rise of hate disguised as patriotism, and the comfort we take in turning away. Because the scariest part of the Forever Purge isn't that it could happen. It's that, in some ways, it already has. And unless we stand together, unless we speak out, protect the vulnerable, and choose humanity over hate, the Purge may never end. Not on screen. Not in the streets. Not in our hearts. If this story moved you, if you believe in the power of storytelling to reveal truth, then don't let this be the end. Backhand index pointing down, hit that like button to support content that challenges fear with facts. Bell subscribe to join us as we uncover the real stories behind the headlines and the films we watch. Speech balloon comment below, what would you do if the Purge became real? Let's talk. Let's think. Let's wake up, before fiction becomes reality. Because the Forever Purge was a warning. Now, it's up to us to listen.